Welcome to a session here with Samso. We're just talking about some sort of healthy concepts to a very common topic like alcohol. I've got Paul Werndly here with me. We're just going to go through a few questions and I think, so Paul, maybe just introduce yourself and then we could just go from there.
Noel, thanks very much. Well, I'm basically food is medicine. It's my strong area. I'm a qualified medical herbalist and a health food chef. So one of my main things, Noel, is that I'm an educator. So I cook and educate. So I'm trained in herbalism, natural medicine. So I was just going to talk about the healthy aspects to drinking alcoholic beverages in this video.
All right, I guess we can start from this very simple sort of topic. What is alcohol? I mean, we all know what is alcohol. We all drink alcohol. I mean, what is the science that behind that?
Well, pretty well all alcohol comes from a sugar or starch base, and then the yeast act on that sugar or starch and then convert it into alcohol. And what's released there is carbon dioxide. So basically you got the sugar or starch, the yeast species, which is a couple of yeast species used, convert it into alcohol. So you could almost look at alcohol as a narcotic carbohydrate. It has a narcotic effect on the brain, and so it's from the carbohydrate family where the yeast actually change the sugar starch molecules into that form.
Okay. In terms of like, how does our body, I mean, you talk about being carbohydrate, does our body process it the same way?
Yes and no. It's processed in the liver. The liver is the primary source of metabolism, and the average person can metabolize about 10 milligrams of alcohol an hour. Now, if you're really healthy, you can maybe metabolize a lot more than that, possibly even double that. But if you've got on medications or unhealthy lifestyle, you probably metabolize less than 10 milligrams an hour. So there is a variance there, depending on your health, your medications you're on, your dietary factors, even your ethnicity background. Certain people have a stronger liver metabolism from different cultures. So when we imbibe an alcoholic beverage, the first port of call, it hits your stomach, and about 15 to 20% of alcohol is absorbed through the stomach wall. And that's where people say, gee, that drink went straight to my head, because there's almost an instant absorption there through the stomach wall. Now the rest, the other 80% is absorbed through the small intestine. That then transfers through the hepatic portal veins to the liver. That's a transport system between the small intestine to the liver. So the alcohol absorption instantly happens through the stomach, especially if it's a bubbly drink as well, because or a strong concentration through the stomach wall. Secondly, through the small intestine, through the hepatic portal to the liver. Now, the liver has an enzyme called alcohol dehydrogenase. Okay, and there's another enzyme called aldehyde dehydrogenase. So they're the two main enzymes. ADH, alcohol dehydrogenase, breaks down alcohol from the alcohol ethanol form into acetaldehyde. Okay, from there into an acetate. An acetate is very similar to like a harmless vinegar, but the breakdown from alcohol, which is not as toxic as acetaldehyde, which is responsible for hangovers. It's more of a toxic secondary metabolite, and then that's broken into more of a harmless acetate, as in like acetic acid, which is in vinegar. So that's the basis of alcohol metabolism for our audience.
Okay. Now, in terms of like, obviously you mentioned before, everyone's different body size, different ethnic
background
types and things like that. Does the fact that you're stressed or tired and things like that come into play as well?
Yes.
Does it affect you a lot more, do you think?
There's a myriad of factors. Your hydration level comes into play. Whether you've eaten or not comes into play. Your ethnic background, your medication. See, alcohol competes with liver detoxification. So if alcohol comes in, your liver almost has to swing its full focus to alcohol breakdown down into acetate. Now, if you're on a medication, then the medication's now put aside, or the medication puts the alcohol aside. So Dehydration, your body hydration is very important, your stress levels, and some people drink for stress because they're stressed. So when you're drinking alcohol, the alcohol dehydrates every cell in your body to an excessive level. If you drink alcohol to an excessive level, each cell gives away a little bit of water into the bloodstream, and the bloodstream becomes hydrated. So when we go into the bathroom a lot when we're drinking, it's actually our body water. Also, alcohol turns off antidiuretic hormone, which is a hormone that stops us going to the bathroom. Alcohol actually interferes with antidiuretic hormone function, so we're going to the bathroom more. And it's actually not the alcohol we're drinking going through us, it's actually our cell water, and with that some of the nutrition, vitamins and minerals. So also alcohol slows down the central nervous system pathways in the brain and the central nervous system. That's why people get a bit clumsy or slur their speech, that the central nervous system pathways get a little bit slower, and that's why it's highly unadvised to drive your car, operate machinery. It's because the more alcohol you drink, the more your central nervous system is affected. And like I said, alcohol competes with other metabolic toxins in the body and other medications, and because the liver's actually processing it the whole time you're drinking. And like I said earlier in this video, the average is about 10 milligrams every hour, which is a standard drink.
All right. So is there a way we can have, healthy drinking? I mean, is there a process or things we could do?
That's a great question, Noel, and that's the purpose of this. The main purpose of this video is there's plenty of things we can do. We can stay hydrated. I've got one recipe here where you get the lemon, electrolytes, and minerals in the lemon. Crush the lemon. Okay, you crush the lemon in your juicer. Okay. This is also a sports drink I designed many years ago as a natural therapist for people who play sports, going to the gym. It's almost like a naturopathic Gatorade. So you crush the lemon, you pour that lemon juice into a jug, right? You get a pinch of sea salt, nice healthy pinch of sea salt, minerals. So we're putting electrolytes and minerals together. Then you get some spring water, or filtered water, or if you're lucky enough, rainwater if you live on a farm, etc. You pour that in into your jug. Now if it's a hot day, you put some ice in there. And what you're making here is a naturopathic Gatorade. So what you got, there's electrolytes and minerals. Now you get your, in this instance, a chopstick. Stir that up. Now all those fluoro drinks that you buy in the stores and all that, in the bin. This is what you should be drinking before, and hopefully during drinking and after, to stay hydrated. Because that's now cell nutrition. So what your cell's losing, that's a cellular nutrition. The cells are feeding off that drink. And you put, another thing I recommend is also, don't throw the lemon skin out, chop that up and put it in it, because the lemon skin is a superfood. Maybe even add another chopped lemon into that, and some crushed ice or whatever if it's a hot day. You can also use this as a spritzer to dilute alcoholic beverages. Put some ice with that. So you might put that with some wine, or might put that with your spirits. So you're actually putting hydration factors back into your body. And also, the other thing with lemon juice, it's liver friendly. It increases liver metabolism, and the skin of the liver, the skin of the lemon is hepatoprotective. Protects the liver from damage from the acid aldehyde. Also, if we eat some low carb tapas while we're drinking, and in a few videos here, I'm going to show you some low carb tapas. We've got here some guacamole, perfect low carb tapas. Put that with some sour cream. We've got here some nuts, which I've dry roasted. What you do with those nuts, you maybe dress them with some olive oil. Oh, that's macadamia oil. Okay, put some sea salt with that. Some smoky paprika. Okay, so what you're doing, you're giving your nuts a bit of a flavour here. You toss them, okay, and put some more oil with that, and that's what you're nibbling while you're drinking. So you're keeping your hydration up. You're actually having food with the alcohol is a very healthy tip. Low carb. Low carb's also very important. You might want to try some of those nuts. No?
Okay.
Basically, low carb's really important because a lot of alcoholic drinks spike your insulin. As your blood sugars are rising, insulin has to come and compete with, actually push your insulin blood sugars down. So if you're having like chips and potatoes and pasta and and bred with your alcohol, that exacerbates the insulin spike, which is part of the problem. The insulin spike is then there's going to be a crash, and that's when people get sleepy and tired. It's not just the amount of what you're drinking, it's the actual blood sugar crash that gives people fatigue behind the wheel. Drinking slowly, in smaller sips as well. Have a smaller sips of drinking slowly. I've got another tip that I do, is you're sipping your Sauvignon Blanc and you put it further away from you. Okay? So when you're talking, because if you're holding your hand, your sip rate can be higher. If you put it away from you, you're talking and then you have to think about having another sip. So it's only a 1%er. That helps a lot, putting a drink away from you. But if you're in a public area, make sure you keep your eye on the drink. Okay, make sure you keep your eye on it. Taking some activated B vitamins. Your liver has to activate B vitamins, so if you take activated B vitamins, it saves your liver the trouble of having to activate the B vitamins while it's under a little bit of metabolic function. Also the quality of beverages, like a really good quality boutique wines, really good quality brewed beer from natural ingredients. This is going to give your liver a massive head start, not having to process so much 220 sulfur dioxides and sulfur compounds. Dilute the alcohol where possible. Like I said, you make spritzers. Just because you buy the wine or the spirit in that form doesn't mean you're drinking in that form. You can dilute soda water or the spritzer here. That's a sea salt, lemon water and electrolyte drink. Eat before you're drinking and during drinking. I find another good thing to do is not to get caught in rounds, because very often if you get caught in drinking in rounds, you actually end up, the fastest drinker ends up setting the pace of the rounds, and then you can get caught behind and end up drinking too much. So try and opt out of rounds if you can. I've got another little catchphrase that I use, Noel, which is called a no more than 4. So if you're not really celebrating any special occasion, just sort of have a fairly strong point where you can stop. No more than 4 is a good one. Sometimes I go no more than 2. If I'm driving, it's 0 to 1.
So drinking a carton's not a good idea.
A carton?
Yeah.
If that was done over a whole weekend, 1 drink every hour, etc. What are you thinking here, Noel? No? And there's another thing, Noel. Very cheeky question. You can drink that carton over a whole long weekend. One of the things about drinking alcohol is to do it maturely and wisely.
Yeah,
no matter what you're drinking and doing. And if you're at a celebration, have a few more. Have a taxi or a lift already pre-organised. But another thing I haven't mentioned before we wrap up this video is glutathione, which is a compound the body makes from amino acids cysteine, glutamate and glycine. And glutathione is hepatoprotective. It helps break down alcohol to acetaldehyde to acetate. Okay, so as we run down in glutathione when we're drinking, we're running down in glutathione. That attributes to a greater hangover. So if you actually put all these factors I've talked about, is that making this drink, putting that in a sports bottle. Now that doesn't have to be in a jug. You pour that into a sports bottle, take it with you. Take it with you even to the restaurant, have that there. Taking glutathione or cysteine, glutamate and glycine, we'll mention in another video. There's plenty of offshoots to these subjects we can do other videos on. So that, in a nutshell, is what alcohol is, how it's absorbed and metabolized, its effects on the body, and then stay hydrated, healthy drinking tips from your naturopathic chef, health food chef, and from Noel from Samso Media.